You're about to listen to a Metal Express Radio exclusive interview. Head on over to metalexpressradio.com for our latest rock and metal interviews. And while you're there, check out our web radio, read our reviews, and rock and metal news. Enjoy the interview. Hi, this is Mick Burgess, and I'm now backstage at the O2 Academy with Mike from the Devil Wears Prada. How are you doing, Mike?
I'm good, thank you for having me.
Great. I mean, you're partway through your UK tour now. How have the shows been going so far?
It's been good. We've been playing a lot of real small rooms. We just played Ireland for the first time, which was really exciting. And that went really well too. But we're excited to be out here and playing new songs. We haven't toured actually in quite a while, so we're stoked to be playing new songs.
Yeah. So how many shows have you got lined up on this tour?
I think 12. Don't quote me on that.
So is this the biggest tour you've done so far in the UK? As headliners?
I'd say it's tied. When we put out our last full-length, Dead Throne, I think it was about this long as well. Maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Because you joined on the tour by the Dead Hearts and Napoleon. Were you involved in getting those onto the bill?
Yeah, our booking agent sent over a list, and I gave them a listen. It sounded cool. Definitely a sort of, I don't know if I'd call it like a revival or resurgence, but it seems like a lot of that really like kind of melodic, heavier, hardcore type band. So yeah, they're out with us too.
So as far as the performance goes, what can your fans expect from the tour from you this time?
We always mean to be sincere, whether it's shows like this or something a bit smaller or something like main stage download. We want everyone to always have the sort of the very wholeheartedness that we think builds this band and makes us what we are.
Yeah. I mean, last month saw the release of your latest album, 818. Are you pleased with the reaction you've had so far?
Yeah, definitely. I think from what I've seen, like as far as acclaim, it seems I really can't complain at all. I've seen nothing but really good reviews. I might be too biased and just looking at the wrong places. I never like to get in too deep and see what people are saying about things too much, but it seems like people really like it, and I know how pleased and content we are with the material, so it's cool. We're excited. And
it's broken the Billboard Top 20 again as well, so another
it did result. Yeah.
So how long did the album take to write?
I mean, we have a sort of, it's a complicated process, but we have a pretty streamlined as far as we write certain songs from basically just like totally ground up, and then a lot of the songs are kind of born out of like these demos that Chris has written. So with that being said, Chris has always new demos on his laptop, and if he's bored on tour or he's bored at home or feeling inspired, he just sits there and makes songs. So the entire process of us coming up with records is usually a kind of a few-year process, and even to where there's like riffs on 818 that were sitting on Chris's laptop before we put out Dead Throne.
Yeah.
So it's hard to put an exact number on it. Lyric-wise, it's a little bit different, but.
Yeah. I mean, does he bring those demos to you, and do you sit and play through them? Then is it like he brings the skeleton of the ideas, and then you build on those ideas as a band?
Correct. Yeah. Exactly. Different progressions will change. Different transitions might change. The drums are almost completely rewritten as far as like fills and whatnot. Dan will do his thing on that, and then we'll write the vocals and keys, and Chris is the skeleton builder.
Yes, and you put the flesh on. So what were you aiming to achieve with 818 this time? What sort of record were you looking to make?
I mean, we never really set out to distinctively to create something extremely specific. We always we feel safe making things that are always relatable to what this band has always been. I think for me, I had different direction, and I had things that I wanted to accomplish on this album that I hadn't done before. And I think a lot of that has become transparent. A lot of that actually made it to the album, which is exciting. But I mean, I think the biggest sort of contrast or bit of color from like older material to 818 is more emotional and more organic and kind of jammier, sort of atmospheric type stuff.
Yeah.
Which is we love writing and we love listening to it, and it's become a really not easy. It's not easy to write songs, but it's been a very natural progression for us to move more towards like a sort of a different sound or ambience here and there.
Yeah, because you had Adam from Killswitch Engage coming in as producer. What does he bring to the band as a producer?
I mean, Adam did all of Dead Throne, and then Adam was executive producer for 818, and he we had to fight to get him on 818 because he's so busy with Killswitch right now. But he is, in short, he's just a fat trimmer, cutting things in half, speeding things up, get back to the chorus quicker, just things like that. A lot of structural stuff that I love working with him. I really value his geniusness, honestly, and it all blends really well. And I think that we have a very welcoming chemistry with Adam.
Yeah, because Dead Throne was your first for Roadrunner, and obviously Killswitch Engage or Roadrunner after. Was that key Roadrunner involvement? Was that key to getting Adam onto the project in the first place? Or
no, the big thing for getting Adam involved was we were direct support for Killswitch in the States in 2010, 2009, I can't remember. But yeah, and he was, that band in general, the greatest guys. And at the end of the tour, Adam was like, yeah, I'd love to work with you guys in some way or another. And we're like, oh, does that mean you'll produce it? Or like do our record with us? So yeah, that was like kind of the hitting off as far as with Adam, not so much Roadrunner stuff.
Yeah. Because up till then you'd worked with Joey Sturgis on all your previous records. I mean, was it strange at first working with somebody new?
It was, yeah, and I feel like we're still, even though, I mean, this month is our 8th year since our first show, but I still feel like we're relatively inexperienced as far as working with different producers because Joey had done so much for so long. I loved getting to work with Adam, and I loved getting to work with Matt and Adam on 818, and it was again totally different going to Atlanta and doing the record with Goldman for 818. So I think we're starting to get accustomed to it. But yeah, I mean, it was a little bit different as far as going to Joey and then starting with Adam, especially because Adam carries a much heavier weight and hand within as far as what am I trying to say is his influence as far as when it comes to producing and coming to changing the songs. Adam carries great weight. A lot of respect for the band, but that was a little bit different.
Yeah, but sometimes it helps having that change because sometimes you might get a little bit cozy with the same producer and somebody else will come with fresh ideas and just gives you a bit of an extra kick, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even it happened. I think it happens often within the music industry, and I think that it's hard to keep people to just come to your shows all the time or to always buy your record, especially these days. And I think that when you get to mix up a producer or something like that, or label management or whatever, that's kind of fighting the sort of complacency that I think that creates like such a stagnant motion within a band, to where it's like you're just doing the same thing. Like, I already have that record, I already love the older material, I'll listen to something else. I think mixing things up was definitely important creatively.
Because this is your first record since Foul Remember. James Bainey left the band last year. Why did he decide to head off?
We parted ways with James. It was actually after the Dead Throne UK tour. It was just there's always been a little bit of tension there, and it's just a different it's tension within personalities, and it's very difficult to spend so much time working professionally and as friends together so much. So that tension built to a certain point, and we knew it'd be better for everyone for us to part ways.
Yeah. Did you have any involvement in the latest album, or was that
no,
a fresh start?
Yeah.
Because you've got Jonathan Gehring in on keyboards now. Is this a permanent change, or is this just for the tour?
Right now it's permanent. It's kind of weird. He actually he toured with us even when James was in the band, because James had a long honeymoon. So John did a tour with us in Australia. So the transition there was also very natural and smooth. And John is ultra talented dude. And I love what he did on the album, and I couldn't be more happy about that. But he's not like an actual member of the band. There are different reasons there, but it's the analogy I always use is like if you're dating a girl for a long time and it's like, well, I guess we should get married, but it's like, well, it's just working fine to be boyfriend, girlfriend. Let's just do this.
Stay as it is. Yeah.
So that's how I perceive John and the band's sort of companionship.
Because your album's titled 8:18, what's the significance of that number? It's a reference to a passage in the Bible?
Romans 8:18, yeah. I consider that our present sufferings are nothing compared to the glory that is promised us, which was very moving for me when I came across it a couple years ago, and I wanted to do something, and I knew that its sort of perception on suffering in general is something that I knew was it had its place in Dead Throne, and I knew it was gonna be even more predominant in 8:18 as far as misery and suffering. So that was the perfect building block, and wanted to go with that.
Yeah, because you've got Christian beliefs as a band, so a lot of those beliefs come through in your lyrics, and indeed the band name as well, which I think a lot of people confuse with the book and the film, but there's a deeper meaning to it than that.
Sort of. I mean, when we started 8 years ago, we just were kids and we had the stupidest names. We had one of our names was going to be Smoke Rocks, like crack, and we were just kids. I mean, we just wanted to play metal.
Yeah.
And Chris thought it was a clever name. This was when there was only 3 people in the band, and then I joined, and I thought it was like a sort of a little bit of a deeper idea on materialism, and so we kind of attribute it to that, and now 8 years later we're just trying to ignore it and pretend we're called something else.
Do you find life in a metal band sometimes conflicts with your beliefs?
No, I mean I have the same struggles regardless of whether I'm home or I'm on tour. Well, not the same struggles, but there is trouble and affliction regardless. It's not like when I go out on tour I have a raging like heroin habit or something like that. So I think a lot of it is a little bit glamorized and dramatized more than what it actually is for us.
Yeah. What about bands like Black Sabbath and Slayer? I know you've toured with Slayer and bands like that. Do you have any issues with the topics they cover in their lyrics, or
no,
each their own?
I love Slayer. I love Slayer so much. No, I mean, in a Mayhem tour where it was Anthrax, Motorhead, Slayer, Slipknot. It's also a very communal tour as far as like a lot of hanging out and it's just like Chris, when this question comes up, Chris always says it's not like you'd expect like Slayer to walk around with like bleeding goat heads like throwing blood on people, so it's not like we're gonna walk around with Bibles like putting them in people's faces. So
I mean, you mentioned earlier that you've been together for 8 years now. How do you feel you've grown as a band over that 8-year period?
I mean, it's easy to grow from very young to mid-20s where we are now, musically, and just spending so much time with our instruments and writing songs and songs and songs. I think another very important attribute to what makes us who we are now is our just maturation as people, and I'm always so tired of people saying like, oh, the new record's more mature. It's so like jejune and threadbare to say, and I hate it. It's so exhausted. I think it's more important that we become more mature as people, and I think that reflects a lot in the music, because we're not writing these songs to be like we need to write songs to pay the bills or to make this to please someone. We make the songs that we want to reflect ourselves through. And with that being said, when you become a different person or a more adult person, that change is going to be revealed within the music.
Yeah. So when your UK shows are over, where do you head over to next?
We're about to head out for 7 or 8 weeks in North America, about a week Canada, and the rest is US, which is be very exciting for us. We haven't headlined in the States in quite a while, and play all these songs and even some more songs over there. So yeah, just a lot of touring coming up with the new album, and hopefully back over here for festivals in the spring.
Yeah, so looking ahead to 2014, is it going to be sort of more touring and more sort of supporting the album?
Yeah, definitely. Right now we don't have any plans to do like a DVD or a re-release, not that I know of. So yeah, next 2014 is going to be hard touring, a lot of touring.
Brilliant. Well, Mike, thanks very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Best luck with the rest of the tour, and really loving the album.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
You just listened to a Metal Express Radio exclusive interview. Head on over to metalexpressradio.com for our latest rock and metal interviews. And while you're there, check out our web radio, read our reviews, and rock and metal news.